Good morning and welcome aboard. Quick sound check for everybody. Let us know you hear my voice and see Saul's charts. Hey, Maureen, good morning. Hey, Chad T, Glenn C, Jerry P, Jim H, Maureen Osbeck, Ray B, Andrea, Zohair S, welcome. Good morning. Zohair, welcome from the UK. If you're coming into our service as a guest, welcome. Make sure you put up a S&P 500 E-mini chart. If you're coming in from the outside, click on the link and join us live in Zoom. Saul's going to be joining us shortly. When he pops in, he's going to give out this morning's levels. These are his proprietary scalping levels that he's using in his own trading. This is price action trading. Saul's been trading for 25 years or so. He's actively scalping, trading the S&P 500 E-mini intraday based on a specialized trading technique, which is called price action. Price action has been around for quite a bit of time. It's the act of setting up for a trade, utilizing key proprietary scalping levels. Well, in this case, key proprietary scalping levels, a pivot, and other levels on top and bottom of that pivot. And then as the market ebbs and flows and those prices or those areas, those proprietary levels come into play, Saul has price action entries, exits, and stops in and around those levels. Those are the opportunity points in and around his levels. He's looking for a minimum trading profit on each trade of 2 points plus. He generally has a 2-point stop that'll expand based on market activity and action, momentum, and follow through. And I would venture to guess that his price action methodology, his entries, exits, and stops for his own trading are different than you either do now or know how to do. This is a taught experience. You first come in as a guest, then you move to a monthly subscription, and then you choose whether you'd like to advance on to Saul's course and his mentoring work, where he brings you into a private session where he teaches you personally and privately his methodology and then works with you over a year based on that methodology. So again, the first entry, welcome guests. Second entry is we have current individuals that have signed up for Saul's monthly access to this service or the Zoom room. Hey, Ray, that's a good question. And Saul will look at that and he'll answer. So the key thing here is simplicity and the ability to make money based on that simplicity. Concentrating on where the rubber meets the road at the price action level of the trade and being able to do that trade and walk away with a profit against commission is what Saul looks to do for his own trading and what is showcased here on a daily basis. So when we talk about coming in as a guest, it really is an opportunity for you to see if Saul's any good or not. If he gives you out levels right around the cash open this morning, you write those levels down and you see what happens as the market ebbs and flows around those levels, the light bulb may go off in your head and say, hey, this guy knows what he's doing. If it turns out that his levels are no good and he's speaking out of his hat, then you'll pick up on that right away too. Saul's been trading for 25 years, maybe a little bit longer. He's been trading up against, in my humble opinion, the best traders in the world down on the CME Group trading floor in Chicago, which is the trading pits. You know, he's home now because of the pandemic. I call it his trade cave. He's still actively scalping and trading for his own trading account, so he is at risk. So in other words, he puts his money where his mouth is. And he takes a select group of traders into his monthly, which is the opportunity to sign up, come in as a paid monthly, stick with him, get his proprietary scalping levels, go through the trades with him. And remember, it's very important to know that the morning session is Sol's concentration. In a lot of ways, it should be yours. 2, 3, 4, 5 trades on a good trading morning. Bank your money, and then push yourself away from your computer and go do something else. That's the trading business, and that's the opportunity that presents itself. Hey, Don, how are you today? Hey, Gary P. Hey, Jerry. Hey, KG. So again, this is I don't know, an S&P 500 Fandango. You know, it's an interesting thing that if you can do one thing well in trading and develop consistent profitability, you really don't need to do much else. You've accomplished your mission for the day, which is making money and making more money than you pay in commissions or your time in your chair. You can make money on both sides of the market. You can make money on the upside and the downside. So it's an amazing opportunity to have the tools in front of you to run your own business, and you're the talent in your trading business. And you ultimately have to decide whether your talent in your trading business is enough, or you do need to seek out somebody to work with you to help hone that talent and have that talent pay off. So again, that's the daily opportunity that presents itself in this service. I'm going to send out to everybody an opportunity for Saul's monthly before he pops in. Read it. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's coming to everybody in chat. If you didn't get it, let me know. It says special discount, Saul's Zoom room, which is this room. picking it up for a month, it'll renew at the discounted rate. So usually it's $379 a month. Right now it's on for just 100. So take advantage of it. If you get the $100 price, you get to keep it as it rolls. You're in charge through PayPal. It's really just a way for see who is serious. Serious trading, serious as a trader. And it's a stepping stone from guest to Sol's Monthly. Hey Shadu, welcome. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Hey Jim H, HD. Hopefully I've said hello and good morning to everybody. Trading is a serious business. You have money on the line. If you need trading software, let us know. We can point you in the right direction. You should have a platform, should have the ability to practice trade against real-time data. So when Saul pops in, he's going to give this morning's levels. Write the levels down on your trading pad. Plot them into your software. Plot them into your charts or however you do that. If you need to know how to do that, let us know. And again, the first order of business is to join the family for your $100 a month. And take advantage of the discount. It's usually $379. And that should be out to everybody. If you missed it, let me know. When Saul pops in, you'll hear his voice. Don't hesitate to ask questions. Use the chat feature. You know, it could be gone at any time. It's not up to me. If it was up to me, I'd keep it. But individuals do pay the $379, so, and they're happy to pay it. You know, they get the levels, they get to go through the morning session. It also gives you the opportunity to set up a time and have a private trading consultation. You know, as they say, it's an opportunity. You can either decide to take it or not. It's up to you. And again, I think it's important for you to know that it's between you and PayPal, so you can cancel at any time. I mean, it's really up to you, you know. You don't have to contact us, which is great. I like that idea. Hey, Chad, it looks like you're in twice. Hey, Timothy. Hey, Glenn. Good morning. Saul pops in and I can't hear him sometimes. Just let me know if you start hearing his voice. Good morning. Hey, Glenn. I've got Glenn C and Glenn M. Welcome. Now again, I'll send out that opportunity for Saul's discounted monthly. Going out to everybody. It should be in your chat area. Just read it. Self-explanatory. It's your option. Hey, Nadine. Welcome back. Hey, Nadine, I was trying to reach out to you yesterday about Saul's monthly. I could send it out to you directly if you want, just to make sure you're all set up properly. Hey, let me know if you got that. Again, Sal's going to step in, make sure you write down his levels he's giving out to everybody. Hey, Frank. Hey, JW. Use the chat feature to ask questions. Hey, Sidar, how are you, sir?
All right, good morning, everyone. Can everybody hear me all right? All right, great. Welcome, everyone, especially some of the new folks. So let's give you our levels. We'll start out with our levels, and I'll tell you what we do here in a minute. Our pivot this morning is 34.27, 34.27. Support at 18.11.03 and 33.96. Resistance on the upside at 33, 42, 51, 58. 27 is the pivot, resistance at 33, 42, 51, 58, support below at 18, 11, 03, 33, 96. Top of the morning there to you, Glenn C from the UK. Well, it's not even top of the morning for you, it's midday, afternoon. Good afternoon. We are trading mini S&Ps here. We are we used to be on the floor of the exchange, but the exchange closed because of the COVID situation. So consequently, we shifted our base of operation to my basement, which is fine. We don't really lose too much given what we do here. And so consequently, we are okay. We trade many S&Ps, like I said. We don't believe that markets go straight up or straight down. They obviously bounce back and forth. We're trying to find those inflection points where they will bounce around a little bit and give us an opportunity to make 2 to 3 points in our trades. This is today's goals, I think, or risk tolerances. That varies with the volatility, obviously. When we were trading in March, with the craziness that occurred when that everything hit the fan, we were having 10-point ranges for our goals. So we're scalping the market. We're trying to find, like I said, those areas of that the market will bounce off of to give us a chance to make some money. So we are opening up here, and market again pushed up here right before the opening, coming right up here to the 33. Yeah, it's a little bit too close to the opening. I get it. Just be patient and wait. It obviously, when we open up here and it's close to the first level, it becomes a little bit more tenuous. I put the levels out before the market opens, so you're going to get some movement prior to it. And so consequently, you got to be a little bit cautious when it opens up. This first bar is always a little bit more, and it opens up at 8:30 Chicago time, which is right now. Even though there's no pit, and they used to wait till the bigger S&P market opened up, the traded just on the floor with the true yelling and screaming. When that pit opens up at 8:30, which is right now, that's when basically a lot of the volatility comes into the mini S&Ps, and you can see here with this first bar, this is what's happening. So I don't know why it always, even though there is no pit and there is, it always waits till that 8:30 bar, and then volatility comes flying into the market. So it's good to see. It's good to know. That way, at least we have some, even though it's not there, it is there. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a weird situation, but that's what's going on here. The market has been very, very volatile yesterday. It was whipping around back and forth. This market, or many S&Ps here, are very sensitive to, at this moment in time anyway, to negotiations with regards to any coronavirus package, that comes out of Washington, and talks between Pelosi and the Treasury Secretary there. You were getting like sound bites every 10-15 minutes, and it was relayed, and that activity was flashing into the S&Ps with 10-15 point moves all at one time. Sometimes they said it was not working out so good. Sometimes they say, oh, it's better, and then you get one reaction to the other. The volatility in the afternoon becomes a little bit more one-sided in one way. I think we try to focus more on the morning hours to give us a good opportunities for ebbs and flows in the market. That's what we're trying to do. The trade in the first couple hours, 2 to 3 hours in the morning, give us those opportunities. As the afternoon and the day goes on, the trade becomes a little bit more skittish, and consequently, we try to stay away from trading at those hours. So most of our focus is the morning hours. So some of you on the other side of the pond, it's perfect, because then you get to go to dinner and you can forget about this place. When we have a few folks from that side of the little pool that we have between us. Anyway, so it kind of works out good for some of you folks over there. I always thought that would be really a good place. You get up, you do your thing in the morning, you come here, trade for a couple hours, and you go to dinner. How bad could that be? With me, on the other hand, sometimes here, probably in the background, just kind of watching, or sometimes trading. I try not to trade in the afternoon, simply because I realize the volatility is just a little bit too great, and it just kind of doesn't just trade well for the things that we do. So just stuff happens, So this is kind of what we do here on a daily basis. We give out levels. We look for our levels for those inflection points. In addition to that, there are price action opportunities that occur. Once the market paints some bars, we have to wait for those price action opportunities. And when they present themselves, then we can obviously trade them. But patience is very important in this game. Knowing when to get into your trades, knowing when not to get into a trade and then knowing when to get out. All of those things are influence any particular trade. Yesterday, we made a couple adjustments to our levels to take into consideration the price action at that moment in time. You can also trade DAX for those of you who are on the other side of the pond there. Thanks there, sir, there. Always good to know. We focus more on the S&Ps here, minis. My philosophy is that it's hard enough to understand the idiosyncrasies of a lot of markets. So instead of trying to do that, we try to focus in on one, understand what affects it, understand what fundamental news affects it, understand when that news comes out, or at least we know why the market was a little bit choppy yesterday. And basically, it's come back into this range it's been at this whole week. It kind of broke down a little bit here overnight, this stuff here, but the reality of it is since Friday, it's pretty much Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, today's Thursday. So since Monday's range, it's pretty much right in the middle of Monday's range and has been staying that way. So it's kind of just waiting all week. Nancy Pelosi said that she was giving a Tuesday deadline for any kind of stimulus package that's going to come out of Washington, but obviously talks were going well, and that's why the market was happy. And then Mark, the chief of staff, comes out and says we're far apart. Then they say, oh, we're not so far apart. There were some Fed speaks yesterday that maybe contributed to some of the volatility. There were so many of them, and there are a few here tonight. The beige book came out yesterday, which affected the market just a little bit at 1 o'clock here, Chicago time. Any numbers or times that I give out usually is Chicago time. So it's 1 hour behind East Coast time. So I don't know how you guys figure that out for yourselves, but I give you Chicago time. We have a couple numbers that are coming out here at the top of the hour. Existing home sales coming out, leading indicators coming out. We had the initial jobless claims that came out, which was an unemployment number. That was a little bit better than expected. It was below 800 first time in a while. So that was a little bit positive influence on the market, at least initially when it first came out. And you can see here the bonds kind of broke down a little bit because of that number. Yield on the 10s right now, probably a little bit higher, is at 0.81. They were hovering around 74, 0.74, 75 for the 10-year for a while there. So it's good to see that it's maybe trying to extend here a little bit. So we have two numbers coming out here at 9 o'clock. Then we have a couple Fed speaks at 12 o'clock, and then later on this evening after the market closes. So just 12 o'clock as far as Fed speaks are concerned. And then we have a couple of fundamental news items that come out here at the top of the hour in about 21 minutes or so. So keep that in mind. If we don't like to trade when there's a number. So let's keep that in mind. The next 20 minutes, see what happens. Again, if any new folks that are in, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Put them in the chat box area that I can see it faster. I have that window up versus putting it in the Q&A section. I don't have that window. I'll get to it eventually, but it's much easier for you to put it in the question box, in the chat box area. I'll see it quicker. Feel free to ask any questions if you say to all panelists. That means I'll be the only one that sees it, me and Brad anyway, and so you don't have to be nervous about putting any kind of information down there or ask any kind of question. Feel free to do that. As you can see here, market is chopping around, just went up kind of on air, coming back down here, kind of on air. We have a little support there at the 27 area, which is our pivot. All right, so let's see. So be careful there in the top of the arrow. Let's see what we can give you as far as any news that might affect us. Our pivot this morning is 34.27. All right. Let's see. So market's getting a little bit choppy here. Again, the volatility has been in the market in the last couple of days. Again, getting a little bit nervous in regards to what and how it should move around because of the um, talks or negotiations going on as far as stimulus package is going. Let's see. While stimulus negotiation between the House Speaker Munchin and House Speaker Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Manchin continued today. U.S. stock futures fell a little bit. They're on the break-even point right now. Amid increasing talks of a vote after the election on the economic calendar, initial claims came out this morning. Likely fall to 860,000. It came out at 788, which is a pretty decent number considering. But still well above the pre-pandemic record of 695,000. Earnings, we are still in earnings season. Earnings season is heating up with third quarter expectations from AT&T, Coca-Cola, Intel, American Airlines, Southwest. Don't forget about the last presidential debate tonight at 8 o'clock Chicago time. Investors will be on the lookout for possible surprises tonight as President Trump locks horns with Democratic nominee Joe Biden at 8 o'clock Chicago time, 9 o'clock Eastern time, 6 o'clock on the other coast time, West Coast. We did go down to our settlement price there at the 32 if you are part of that, can you explain your analysis between a 5 and a 1? Well, there are two different charts. Obviously, we kind of focus more on the 5 for our scalps. The sometimes the correlation between the two helps us find better opportunities, those inflection points that I was talking about. So we kind of use them both up here to give us some help. The hourly is a little bit more longer term, obviously, but sometimes you can find little levels of support and resistance that help us or they correlate with the 5s, and then it gives us a good opportunity there to find another trade. So we use that in addition to the price action that happens, and sometimes they kind of line up. We believe that we need reasons to trade. Consequently, we're looking for those opportunities where things line up, and when we find those, when the stars are aligned, so to speak, it gives us more confidence in putting in a trade. Maureen, why are you raising your hand? I don't even know what that means, by the way, but okay. You need to ask a question. You can just ask a question. Okay, good. I was wondering. I was going to slap your hand. You interfered with my concentration. No, I'm just joking. Obviously, I'm just joking. Okay. Again, we drifted down here to the settlement price there at 32, around our 33. Kind of just chopped around here a little bit. Sure. Levels. Serdar, if you're there, can you throw down the levels in the chat box area again for me? If you're, I gotta do that myself. There you go. Thank you. There they are in the chat area. For those of you who are looking for the levels that we gave out this morning with the pivot, resistance, and support levels. Appreciate it, Serdar. All right, let's see what else we could talk about here as the market is just getting. Remember, we have a number coming out here at the top of the hour. It could make the market move a little bit. We don't like to have any positions on. Sometimes it gets close to a level or a price action opportunity, and we try to stay away from trading a number. You never know if the number is going to be influencing any volatility or not. These two numbers could, well, one of them could. Well, actually, maybe both of them. Is there a certain range in points that the market moves within a day? It varies. You know, you're almost asking me, you know, do I know something that you don't know? I'm sure there is an average out there. Do I know what it is? No. Do I care? Not really, because you never know when, at any moment in time, you're going to get some news that affect the market in a certain way. It's almost one of those questions where, you know, if I had like tomorrow's paper today, one time, I would tell you, but I don't. And if I did, I need tomorrow's paper today one time, and we could all retire, right? I mean, we could all really retire. And I would share that information with you. Really, I would. But I don't have that. And but yeah, so yeah, there just gets market is getting just a little bit. Just, you know, it's, if you look back, if you look back, it's pretty much in the same range it's been at. I would go to jail. Not if I have a newspaper and it's public information somehow. How would I go to jail? Besides that, I'm not keeping it to myself. I'm sharing the information. I wouldn't go to jail. Oh, no, no, no. Tomorrow's paper. No, 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 no. I would not go to jail. It's not like it's that information. HD, come on, you will not screw up the trade. No, come on. All right, I see that, Don. I see you're giving me the 22. I see it. I see it. Don likes 22, just in case you're wondering. All right. And very, very choppy here, as you can see. Kind of just bouncing around. We had 33, but it was really close to the opening, so I would not have taken it, obviously. I don't think anybody here would have. But then next level we had was 42, which we just got up to 38 and change, and come drifting back down here a little bit. Support will still be a little bit of support, will be around the 27 area, just first time to it. Let's see. In competition with Square, a service that allows users to buy and hold Bitcoin, PayPal has introduced a new service that enables customers to buy, hold, and sell cryptocurrency directly with their PayPal account. In addition, PayPal signaled plans to increase crypto utilities by making it available as a funding source to purchase for purchases at its 27 million merchants. PayPal closed 5.5% higher after the announcement. PayPal Bitcoin is trading at 12,800, the highest level in over 2 months. Good to see a little bit of energy coming back into that market. Crazy market. I think maybe it will be the craze at one point. Maybe at some point we'll be trading that contract. Who knows? Never say never. Maybe when I'm not around, some one of you younger whippersnappers will be trading that contract. What? The young whippersnapper or the part that you'll be trading that contract? Hmm. Yes, that is true there, sir. There, Sir Darpit is, he was trading the DAX. He's from the other side of the pond also. And news comes out that somebody from AstraZeneca trial vaccine died. The market initially went down, but then stopped and went back up again. Didn't make any sense initially. An hour later, the news comes out that the patient was on using a placebo. It seems like some traders have very early access to information before they come out. Yeah, well, yes, that's true. They're called Goldman. Those traders are called Goldman and JP Morgan. I think that's their last name, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan. Yes, those people have, those traders have access to information before we do, yes. And that's why Goldman never loses any money every day. I think Goldman went like 3 years without losing money one day in some kind of trades. They were trading some kind of product, and I mean, seriously, they went 3 years with not having one losing day. Okay. Yeah, well, they do that. They have spies. They get that information flow. Look, if you own Reuters and you can type it in before you push send to the whole world before they get to know the news, yeah, you get that information first. So yes, or you can have it channeled to them like a second or 10 seconds before it channels out to the rest of the world. Yes, yes, you do have that information, and yes, that's why they make money every day. They don't lose because they do that. They are privy to certain information. Oh my! I hope somebody doesn't like shoot me for saying that, but I always tell you the Goldman story about what happened in the bond pit. So the Goldman story about what happened in the bond pit, and they even, at the end, uh, cop to it. But so when they were trading, the bonds the bond pit used to open at 7:20 in the morning. So uh, if there was economic news like unemployment, it comes out at 7:30. So you trade for 10 minutes before, just to get. So unemployment was always a big number because you never know. It just you get crazy volatility when unemployment comes out. And so we started. This is unemployment that day, and it's always a Friday, which could be good or bad because I've had some really good unemployment days and some god awful ugly days in unemployment. I can say one of my best days and one of my worst days occurred on unemployment. So take that for what it's worth. But anyway, so that was always the anxiety around unemployment. And um, so yeah, so 7:20 market starts. Um, the one of the bigger traders standing next to the Goldman broker is like going nuts, buying just buying stuff like out of nowhere. And the market, let's say, starts at 10 and he's buying 11s and 12s and 13s like really fast. I'm like, what's going on? And it kind of stops there for like a half a minute. Then he's buying 13s and 14s and 15s and 16s, like one guy. Like he's buying out the whole bit. And at some point, you can see that nothing, that he's the only one kind of trading. And why is that going on? Because the Goldman broker, told him I'll buy 1,000 at 10, and he goes 10 bid, 11 bid, and then he goes, it's 11 bid, and he goes, I'll buy 1,000 at 15. Okay, I mean he needs he needed to give him a chance to make some. There's not that much volume because you got 10 minutes there. Most people are kind of waiting for the number to come out. So he buys 1,015 when the market's trading at 10s, right? So he's trying to buy 11s and 12s and 13s and 14s and 15s, and he's trying to get the 15 quote up there, right? And he gets it up there, and the guy goes, "I'll buy 1,000 at 20." And he's like, "Oh God, okay." So he sells it to him because now here's the problem when that happens. When you're standing next to a broker, and usually the markets go to the broker, right? So if he lets the broker trying to buy it, the whole pit will run it up. You see the local trying to. He's a big local, but if you see the regular trader trying to buy, you don't run to the exits quickly enough so you can give him a chance. But he never covered enough. And so now this is, 10 minutes are up. The market goes from, say, 15 to 40, right? And he's short down at 10, 11, 10, 15, and 20, right? And so my clerk comes up to me, and we know something was up because this was very strange for all that action post pre-number. And sure enough, my clerk comes up to me. He said, "Yeah, they had to take him off the floor. He was down 6.5." Okay, it's bad when the clerks come to me and say, "Oh, they took him off the floor because he's down 6.5." So obviously, he had to go and get some more money to put in his account to cover his trades or to cover the position that he had, which was obviously. So he was short all that stuff, and God knows how many he was short. And the market pops and rallies. Right. So to make a long story short, years go by, he ends up suing Goldman, and Goldman, of course, without admitting to any wrongdoing, says that they will pay, about $5 million back to people who had traded anything with Goldman that day, So, okay. So, but they made 25 million on the trade, but they're paying 5 million back. That always was the kicker to me. They made $25 million on the trade in about 10 minutes, but they got penalized for 5 million of it. It always was the case. So there's inside information for you. So yeah, if you want to know where these traders get that information, you tell me. You tell me if your name is Goldman or if your name is JP Morgan, you're good. I'm sure you'll get that information first. Me, do I have any, is that a bad, I don't know, is that a bad thing to say? I don't know. It is, as a trader, you get a little bit pissed off as the number comes out here. We had these numbers that are coming out here. I was on the floor. I'd give these numbers really quickly for you and tell you what they were, what they are. But unfortunately, here at home, I'm not privy to that information. I just know that they're coming out. That's right. You can only. That's why we. So the moral of that story is the moral of that story is keep your stops in. That way, you don't get caught with the craziness that might occur given the unexpected news drop by somebody or something. All right, so that's the story about you can get the Bloomberg news feed for $35,000 a month. Sure, but to get the Bloomberg news feed 10 seconds before, probably about $150,000 a month. Right? Something like that. And all you need is literally, all you need is 2 seconds before that information comes on. It's cheaper to hack them, yeah, probably. Nowadays with the younger folk, their emails stop with the hacking of the email thing. The hacking of the email thing is really getting annoying. You got to figure that Trump's got to find a new game plan or something. He's going to his old game plan a week before the election to try to. There's going to be there's going to be some crazy news that comes out of this election the next 10 days or 12 days or whatever the hell we have. This is the craziest. For you people on the other side of the pond, you must think we're nuts. And we are. We're definitely nuts. No, Serdar, you can say anything you want. Nobody's recording the chat. Don't worry. Don't worry. No, there's not gonna, I'm sure there's some, black SUVs in front of my house for me saying these kind of stories. And I'll probably one day, you won't hear. I'll disappear. And you won't know why. I won't know why. My wife won't even know why. I'll just be disappeared. Yeah, there's gonna be news drops this whole next 12 days of BS that comes out. It's gonna be ridiculous. It's just gonna be ridiculous. Some kind of story is gonna be dumped on somebody. Every day there's gonna be some BS. Oh, well, that's nice. Did he share it with you at least? Let's put it this way. You would have had to, if I got that information, I would have retired. And made 600%. Who cares about 600%? You got to make 20,000% and be done with it. You get that information, that's it. Who cares about 600%? You get that kind of information, you better retire. I mean, if you're going to do it right. Yeah, I know. That's why you would have to borrow money, do whatever you had to do, make sure that account is maxed. Momentum to 39. Well, I mean, we're range bound here. It looks like we're kind of flagging a little bit. I don't know. We still look at the 42 as some next resistance level. It's just, unfortunately, it's range bound here, and we're stuck. They didn't go down to 27. I mean, that's where we have a little bit of support, but now it's just, it can go either way here. So I'd be careful even around the 27. Again, sometimes for some of the new folks that are in here, we need to express and show you that we need to have patience in trading. You have to wait for the setup to get triggered. We cannot guess that this range game is happening. I mean, if I could have told you this range game was happening, we would have sold 38s and bought 31s the last 10, 15 minutes. But unfortunately, it's not what we do. So we have to be patient and wait for the opportunities to make things happen. And consequently, sometimes we have to just kind of sit on our hands. I know some of you don't like to sit on your hands because you're watching the screen go up and down, those numbers fluctuate, and you're like, oh, I can get in this, I get it. But the most important thing is to find a good reason to trade, not just get in because you think something's happening. Yeah, there you go. Jerry, thanks for your help there. There's a flag on top of a flag on top of that. Thanks a lot for helping me out there. Appreciate that. Is there a way for whose trades are behind the futures market? That's a good one. That's a good one, Sitar. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. The futures, man. Okay, I'm sure there is a way, but you're not going to find out initially. How does that? I mean, I'm sure the exchange, every trade has to go through a broker, correct? Consequently, the broker has an account. The account, yeah, but let's put it this way: the big firms probably have the ability to, but also the big firms are owned by the Morgans and the Gold, Goldman, so they probably, they have that information for themselves. So it's not like they need that information. I mean, they're the ones making the trade. So yeah. So I mean, eventually, if you needed to find out, you could find out, but it's also private information. I don't think people want that information out there. So I don't think look, when you were there's probably when you were standing in the pit, you could see which broker was buying and selling. Maybe that would be something. So we'll see. No, does it again? If your things are going really crazy and trading really fast, do you really want to know who's trading, or you just want to trade? Especially if you have that position on, you're not gonna, jump in. Yeah, well, it's true. If we only knew. telling you, there are a lot of goofy things out there. Things happen. Well, that's good. Again, a little range bound here. Have no opinion when it gets this way, unfortunately, because we can easily uptick and we can easily downtick, and it's a little bit risky to trade at this point, but hey, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with not trading sometimes. Unfortunately, we feel like we have to trade. If the market gives us the opportunities, it's great. If it doesn't, I know it's hard to throttle down and not do much, but you can hear me talk for a bit. So I'm sure that's got to be really fun. But that is important. Sometimes you have to just kind of hang loose for a second. Let's see, the S&P has rallied 64% off the March low before falling 4% in September. With the continued COVID-19 threat and continued contentious, I should say, presidential campaign, the market is surrounded by uncertainty, which could help recent volatility stick around. Gee, thanks for your update there. News yesterday about the death of the volunteer in AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine trial in Brazil sent the pharma giant shares lower, though the organization suggested that the deceased man did not end up receiving the vaccine. On that note, U.S. trials of the vaccine made by AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson are expected to restart as soon as this week, according to the Operations Warp Speed chief at the FCC, or what? Not at the FCC, at the whoever the hell passes that stuff. Temporary pauses in the vaccine studies are not uncommon, especially given the size and speed of this trial. All right. We are just kind of hanging here right on the low end of this range. No opinion here, unfortunately. Just gonna have to be patient and wait. It's a little support now. It's a little bit risky. I liked it a little bit better a little bit while ago, but the 27 there would be a little bit of support if you're itching to trade. Again, just keep your stop in. Don't be a hero. So if you are looking for a little bit of a trade, just make sure you keep your stop in. Again, we're looking for about 2 or 3 points on our trades today. One down to 27.75 there. It's been doing that a lot to me lately. It's missing me by a tick and then deciding to prove me right for me not getting filled for a second. So obviously it's a little bit more riskier now. Maybe, again, if you're going to take 27, just keep your stop in. Otherwise, wait for the, we got 18 down below. I told you that Don's looking for 22. Just saying. I'm just giving you that information because he said it to me a few times, so I guess it's important for him. All right, wouldn't that a bummer there? Just, well, if you did buy our blue band, I guess you could have maybe bought our blue band there. I had to pivot. The blue band rotation was very nice, worked very nicely there. I should have split the difference. I would have been better off. I guess that would have been really perfect. Silly me, right? 27 I had, 29 blue band. I should have split the difference of 28. I would have been a happy camper right now. Well, maybe some of you took the blue band rotation. The blue banders there. Maureen, did you maybe dip your toe there? It was quick. You had to be really fast. Yeah, the blue banders, man, they're good. It's a very rich club. But it's not like they like new members. You guys all have the ability to be members of that rich club. Oh, now, sir. All right, you're starting. Come on. Yeah, Don does not like the blue band. It always gets in the way for him. I just want you to know that, and it's true. Every time Don gives me like 22, and the blue band gets in the way, it's not his friend. Well, you have to open up your, toolbox to different ideas there, sir. That's why you're here. Oh, look at this. You guys on the other side of the pond. Facebook is dating service in 32 European countries after an early Valentine's Day debut was put on ice due to privacy concerns under, I guess, German rules. Since launching in the United States in September last year, as well as 20 other countries, Facebook's dating claims the platform has generated 1.5 billion matches. Jeez. Oh my goodness. That's a lot. What? That can't be. Launching in September last year. So in a year, 1.5 billion matches. Wow, that's one hell of an algorithm. It's also completely free to use with no premium offering, unlike many other dating services such as Tinder and Hinge and Bumble. Never heard of these places. Well, Tinder I have, and Happen. All right, well, there you have it. 1.5 billion matches in the year. Now you guys on the other side of the pond can jump on board. If that's what you're looking for. I have to tell you, I think it's like crazy, but I will also tell you that two of my daughters, one of them got married to somebody that she met online, and the other one's going out with somebody that she met online. So I guess this is what happens. I guess this is what happens. Crazy stuff. What can I tell you? All right. The 27 obviously is a little bit tenuous here because of the fact that it dipped down to just about 28 or 27 and change, and it came back up. So I would, it might work because it is the pivot. The blue band rotation worked very nicely. If you were looking for price action opportunities, there was one. I thought we'd go to 27, like I said. It didn't. There you go, Jerry. Nice. Yeah, that's my My daughter got married to him, and he's the nicest guy, I must admit. No kids, though. Not yet, anyway. I don't know what they're waiting for. I don't even want to ask. I can't ask. Nope, not happening. No grandpa. I'm a grand dog, though. I have a grand dog. One of my kids has a dog. That's my grandchild right now. So, about it. No, but you don't ask those questions. At least I don't ask those questions. Maybe my wife does. I don't know. I mean, I only have daughters, so maybe if I had a son, it'd be easier conversation. I don't know. I'm telling you, I just don't ask those questions. As you can see, we're coming down here to the 27, like I said. A lot more, a little riskier, but you never know. And looking at the 18 as the next support level on the downside. Let's see what the price action is. I wish I could get a little bit more excited about this trade and give you a little bit more definitive, but it's basically range bound and it's not giving us much. I mean, believe me, if anybody wants to trade, it's me. So yeah, and I think I've told some of you the story. I mean, when they had when I was, when we first came off the floor and I was trading upstairs, I was trading the YM, which is the equivalent to trading stocks, but the Dow, right? And it was a nickel a contract, a nickel, 5 cents a tick, and I could trade. I have traded 2,000 or 2,500 of those in a day on the screen. I was just in and out, in and out, in and out. That was on a bad day, obviously. But yeah, I mean, but it also used to cost me, a dime at that point to trade a contract. Not if I was paying, if I was paying $2 a contract, it would be exceptionally expensive. But I wasn't. As the market continues to downtick here, support would be back at 18. So we coming back down here. All right. I think my friend in Texas is going to be a little bit happy here soon. He's looking for the 22. He's looking for the 22 since we opened up. That's the first thing he told me this morning. I like it when things happen for Don. he is happy now. The blue band stopped him for a second and then gave him what he needed, so he's good. Gotta make sure he gets me that Hummer that he's gonna be getting that we talked about yesterday, right? Gotta keep him happy. All right, support down here at the 18 area. Again, it's very sensitive, the market is, to these news reports that come out of Washington in regards to the stimulus talks or not. And I think that's where we're getting one of these little stimulus moves here. Again, if you didn't, gives you a chance to get out of some here for a little bit of a profit. Again, there's no, if you didn't like the price action, you get in, get out. And we're trying to get up here a little bit. Again, to get excited about any trade right now, considering the fact that there is this news that's coming in and out of Washington, it's not tough. But yesterday, if you did that, you had a couple nice rides, right? So trying to work this 18 area here. Again, if you're trading multiple contracts, give me a chance to get out of some, especially if you got in at the lower end of the range there. You got your 2 points, and now we'll see if we can get a little bit more here. If not, at least lighten the load because of the way the price action was. And again, that's if you're trading multiple contracts. If not, if you're just trading one contract, just keep that, do something that's smart. The one thing about what we do here is we make adjustments to the market and the activity in the market, and we're giving us our 2 points right now. So a nice little trade there if you did jump in against the 18 area there, and see if we can get a little bit more. If we can get a little bit, if you have more than one contract, of course. If not, you got your quick 2 points. If that's good. Very nice. Very good. Maureen, good to hear from you. Good that it's getting fixed up. Did you ever talk to them about your situation that you told me about that position, that phantom position that they put on your account? Was that ever resolved to make you happy? Probably not. I would assume that they're always right. I hate those people. All right, we inching up here. We're getting there. 3 points here as well. Again, we are trying to take advantage of ebbs and flows of the market. Our 18 level dipped down there and came back up here very nicely, giving us a scalping opportunity against that level. right? It's so annoying. I just don't appreciate those brokerage houses that say, "Oh, it's not our fault that your computer messed up. You must have messed it up." Okay, weird things happen. I get it. Like I had I told you my situation where I had a momentary, literally a momentary shutdown of my internet, and that created everything to kind of blank out on me. And it was in the midst of all my crap that I had going on, and I did, I shut down my platform. And usually, when you shut down your platform, if you have any trades in there, it reminds me that I have a trade in there that I should. You really, just tells you, do you want to shut down your platform, given that you have a trade on? And so like I said, it was in the midst of all my BS that I had going on, and I had to go. I had to leave. We were doing something, and so when that momentary moment where my internet went down and I lost the charts, I lost my there were zeros on the platform. So I said, all right, well, I might have to leave anyway, so I'm going to shut it down. I hit it, I shut down my platform, and I leave, and there's no, no notice or anything to that position on, so I'm good. And all of a sudden, I'm getting all these like phone calls that I got this position on. And I'm like, what position? What are you talking about? Why didn't my dome tell me that? That was because just for that one moment, and I shut it down. And like I said, I was very distracted those days. And of course, it cost me $6,000 the next morning. On top of getting all the phone calls from the damn brokerage house because they don't like me having positions. I should have known that they knew I don't usually take positions, so they called me and told me. I'm like, what position? What are you talking about? Of course, it was a loser. I'm telling you, all those mistakes never go your way, right? I don't know how, why, what, when, but every time I've had an out trade or a bad mistake, out trades are mistakes, right? That's an out trade. They always went against you. I don't remember. I've had a lot of mistakes, and I had a clerk and everything, and mistakes still happen. Even with my clerk, sometimes she feels bad, or she felt bad, I should say, that she missed it. But you can't blame her. She was doing her job. I was busy, whatever. And somehow we miss it. It's always never goes our way. I don't know how, why, what, but it never does. Those mistakes, they're a lot less on the computer because it is what it is. All right, so we're continuing down tick here. Next support level here is at 11. We had a nice rotation there off of our 18 level. And again, the market is a little sensitive to what's going on in Washington with these talks or now talks. Or like I said, I can't imagine them coming up with anything for the election. It just doesn't the timeline doesn't fit. Even though they were talking about by this week, they need to, Pelosi said Tuesday, well, we're Thursday, and nothing's happening. As we continue to down tick here, support will be at 11 area. Quickly coming down to the 11 area. Anybody get filled down there? If you got in at 12, you did okay. I did not get filled either at 11 and a half. Again, we scale into a position. No, Robert got filled. some got filled on the micro. Of course, Don got filled at 13. You guys are all like all around. Some took to 12. Nice, you guys are very good. You guys are all up there, all around it. 12, 13. And the micro got filled everywhere except 11 and a half on the big one, on the minis. Again, we scale into a position, so when we come down to a level, we're not going to be perfect. So we some scale a point above and below, some scale a half a point above and below the level. Again, it all depends on how many contracts you're trading. So there's different ways of entering a position or entering a level. We like to scale in, so that's why I was asking if anybody got filled at 11 and a half. Obviously, the 12, if you had 12 in there, you got filled. If you had 11 and a half, you didn't. We had a nice rotation off of it, whether you got in at 12 or not. If you did, obviously not at 11 because of how it traded, it worked, but because of the fact that it rotated up here, that becomes a lot more riskier. And if you're going to make an adjustment, you can make an adjustment a little lower, maybe 10 or even 9.5 area if you didn't get filled at 11. If you didn't get filled at 11.5, I should say. But it's obviously a little bit more risky, so you have to adjust your quantity if you're going to still take the level. If we go retest that low down there. Again, this is how we adjust on the fly here. If you didn't get filled, obviously it was a good area because we nice little bounce all the way back up here to 16, the 16 area. Finally getting some opportunity. We had to wait most of the morning so far, but hey, we're getting them now, so we're trading. This is fun now. It's a little bit, it's tough to hear me talk for a whole hour without doing nothing, right? It is. I mean, it's tough to talk for a whole hour without doing nothing. I'll tell you who really appreciates that is Don. When he comes in here and fills in for me and he goes, what do you talk about all the time? Yeah, it's not that easy. Okay. Or Don runs out of air. No kidding. I just don't know how Brad does it all the time. That's what, if you want to really ask me, how the hell does he do it all the time? He doesn't stop. Don't ask me how he does it. At least I got the market to talk about. He's good. He's good. He really is. So my daughter, one of my daughters, came over and she's registered to vote in our by up here up north versus in the city. She lives in the city, but she registered here and she's been voting up here for the last 2 years. So she didn't want to change. So I think it gives her a reason to come home and have some home cooked meal and go shopping in our fridge, stock up a little bit so she doesn't change her registration. So we went and voted yesterday, me and her. We stood in line and so it took about an hour and it was a nice day and just kind of hung out and everybody was very nice out there. Had to go vote. It's important this year, especially because I think the social distancing the lines look a lot bigger than they really are. And I think in 2018, I think we waited about an hour even then too. An hour's not so bad. So it's not the end of the world. So it was, yeah, she definitely comes home and raids the fridge. She even told me to take her to the liquor store yesterday. How can I say no to that? So I bought her a few bottles of whatever she wanted. A couple bottles of wine, a little vodka. I had to buy some stuff for myself, so she knows how to get to me. That's all I can say. I can't even share that with anybody. Okay. Uh, Alrighty. You guys are in California, man. You guys are weird out there. Very strange. Very, very strange. That's all I can say. Don, you're having a good day. That's why you said that. Yesterday you weren't having a good day, so you were a little bit more upset, remember? Don's great. Yeah. And when he calls a market and it does exactly what it wants to, what he thinks it's gonna, it's perfect. When the market doesn't do it, this stuff sucks. This is terrible. I don't share all that stuff with you, but yesterday turned out to be, yeah, I bet you yesterday was your kind of trade. The afternoon, man, oh man, every time I looked, it was someplace, it made a 10-point move yesterday. Crazy. It's crazy. All right. So again, remember the 11 area here, a little bit risky considering where it went and how it stopped and where it's coming off of. So I would definitely look at the 03 below as our next support level. All right, so keep that in mind. Okay, somebody is Don. Somebody's sharing one of your phrases that you gave, and I can't. I can only. I don't have the slang or the little. This is just thinking about Don talking when he said this. And this is you obviously had an effect on somebody. He said, Don said, you don't know what trading is like until you put your corn in the fire. Somebody liked that quote that they remembered it. They're sharing it with us. I wasn't there for that. Remember, when Don comes in here, I'm not obviously not around, so I don't hear those. That's a good line. I like that. Very good line. All right, that's funny. That's true. I mean, the point of that corn and fire. The point of that statement is that you could trade on a simulator, or you could trade, for fun, but until you actually dip your toe and get your feet wet and feel the pain, right? And that's what that means. You got to feel the pain. It's just not the same because it doesn't always stop at 11 and rally to 20 and you can oh, this is easy. It's never like that. Even when we got to the 18 area, we dipped down to 15, 16 and then made the rotation back up. I mean, you got to feel the pain. And here too, if you're going to take this 11, like I said, you have to make a little bit of an adjustment. You're getting a little bit of rotation, but it's a little riskier now that you take the 11 than it was, 10 minutes ago. But again, the opportunities are there, but you have to get, trading on simulator is totally different. And then trading on the real opportunities here with real pain gets a little bit different. So as we're slowly rotating down here, again, like I said, it's going to be a lot more riskier if you took this level. So some of our traders obviously canceled it. The next level on the downside we have is the 03 area. Again, if we miss the entry point, it's tough to make too much of an adjustment. And the market continues to downtick here. Oh, 3 is the next support level. Let me give you a couple levels underneath here. We have 33.96 below the 03. Then we have 88, 80, and 74. 88, 80, and 74. I never know which way these markets are going, right? Just never know. Thank you, sir. There are the levels there for anybody who coming in late. These are levels that we gave out early this morning. There's a pivot, there's the resistance areas, and now we have the additional support areas for you. So right now we worked at 11. Now the next level down is the 03 area. So the levels are in the chat box for those of you who are maybe missed them or came in a little bit late. Thanks, sir. I appreciate that again. They're right there for you. So in case you want to know what we're doing here or where I'm getting these levels, these were given out prior to the opening. And so the next level on the downside we have support is the 03 area. And again, market is very, very sensitive to the news about or lack of news about the stimulus situation. Uncertainty, doesn't like uncertainty. And again, tonight you also have the what do you call it? The debate. All right, the debate. Can spit it out. The debate that's coming out. So that's going to be out. Then the market's going to be a little bit concerned about that, not so much. So, but you never know. I mean, you just don't know what the market looks at or what it concerns itself with, right? All right, so that is a situation where the market is going to be thinking about. But like I said, and we've been talking about this all week with regards to stimulus and whether they're going to pass it or not. And so that is going to be a continuation that this market has been concerned about. They need it. Not they want it or they need it. It's there and it should be something that they should pass, but they're not going to before the election. So I don't know how much that's going to affect the market. I just don't know. We just don't know. Next level on the downside we have is the 03. Again, if you're going to take this 11 area, you definitely have to make an adjustment. I suggested down to 09, and that's where it's trading at right now. We did pop up to 12. So if you did take it and you had a 3-point stop, you got paid off. Again, making an adjustment because there's a secondary level there underneath it. If you did okay on that. Again, the 11 wasn't going to work because we just missed the level by a couple ticks. So making an adjustment is what had to be done there. And again, you are allowed to make those adjustments because this is what we do here as traders. You are allowed to make those adjustments. Don't be afraid to make those adjustments again, but you need to have a reason for them. Sometimes you have to cancel the order based on the price action. Sometimes it's a little easier to make that that adjustment. Sometimes it's not. In this situation wasn't so bad to make that adjustment. All right, so below 6 could get a rotation down to the 03 area as the market is starting to get a little bit more active. Like I said, we have to wait, be patient, and wait for it to give us those opportunities. We gotta get below 6 for us to get us maybe down to the 03 area. Very, very choppy. Oh, they might have said, oh, we might have a deal. Oh, maybe not. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Oh, yes, we are going to have a deal. No, I don't. That's what's going on here. Depends who's talking and when, right? Yeah, it seems like maybe they got a deal now. Who knows? At least not a deal, but talking about, oh, well, things are not so bad. They've been doing that all day yesterday. Every time the market has some bad news, they come out and they rally. Somebody says something that's a little bit positive, they rally it back, like they're doing right now, right? I mean, I wish I could have told you this was going to happen. I wish I knew this was going to happen. It's too bad it didn't happen when I was hung there at 9. It came 1 bar too late for me. Resistance would be around the 27 area if you're looking for a little resistance, which would be our pivot there. If you're going to take it right into the teeth of this rally. But I mean, or our blue banders are getting excited again. Again, we are trading mini S&Ps here. We're trying to take advantage of ebbs and flows of the market. We're using the levels that we gave out as opportunities there for entry points. And price action opportunities that occur also once the market paints some bars and gets active. And we're getting there right now. We try to keep it on the right side of the market. That's what we're trying to do here. So we don't get caught on one of these moves. And, we are cautious in what we're trying to do here and patient. And we obviously, because you never know when one of these moves are going to happen, you have to make sure that you put your stop in. And it's something that is doable for, right now. And any given day, the volatility differs, and then actually, as the afternoon goes on or wears off, the volatility could differ. But for right now, I think if you stick to 2 or 3 points on these opportunities, is a good margin of error for us to be able to stay in the trade if we had to. Probably about 3 points at this point, the way this is whipping around here a little bit. And if you did that with our first couple levels that we've given out here, you should have been doing okay with them. Again, this is not that, this is a bit tough little business, but we have a methodology that, like I said, tries to find these entry points to give us the opportunity to be profitable. So that's what we try to do here on an everyday basis. The goal is to try to teach you the methodology and for you to be able to do this stuff on your own. If you have any questions for some of the new folks that are here, please feel free to ask them in the chat box area. Well, you were right there, HD. Yeah, I just took off. You would have to have the order in there to be able to get filled. All right, so they hiccuped there all the way up to the 24 area. Again, if you were going to do anything, probably around the 27 would have been a place where I would have had. Again, we always are looking for reasons to trade. That's one of the reasons we were looking for, is where we get into these opportunities and why you have a reason to trade. We give you many reasons to get into trades. And the goal here is for you to recognize those opportunities and then to execute them. There's two different variables that have to make a trade: recognition of the trade and an execution. And so consequently, that's what we are trying to do here. All right, so be a little bit careful around the 27 there. Probably maybe go as far as 28, but anything above 30, you want to be out of any shorts. How's that? So again, if you're going to take a short here, anything above 30, you want to be out of any shorts if you're looking to get short. Well, you decide. I gave you the exit strategy, so you decide where you want to get short and how much you want to risk. How's that? I'm very accommodative. 27 is the pivot. 28 is our 26 is our blue band. But all I know is if we get above 30, you don't want to be short. How's that? So you find how much risk do you want to take. You can adjust your risk. Anything 26 blue band, 28 would be 20. No. Okay, so then there's your answer. Whoa! I just saw a picture, a video. They have a video of this Hummer, this electric vehicle Hummer. Coolest thing ever. You guys gotta check it out. Hummer EV. Don, you gotta get one done now. You're gonna love it. It's very cool. You driving around your estate there with this thing. Oh my goodness. Hi, Tim, you are definitely in the market for one of these babies. I cannot imagine you not buying one of these. You drive up to the golf course in one of these babies. Whew, yeah, yeah, everybody's gonna be coming up to you, talking to you. That is a really cool car. At the very worst, you can give it to your son. He'll definitely appreciate it. Wow, that is cool. That's very cool. I just saw it now. I gotta move on. Can't keep watching it. I keep watching the stupid thing. Very, very nice. All right, so they double top here around the 25 here, so be a little bit careful there too. So we're getting little buy signals, we're getting sell signals. It's getting to be on both ends here. Bonds are going down. S&Ps look like they're going to rally. Again, we're getting conflicting position situations with the price action. So be careful here. Again, anything above 30, if you are going to take anything, that's where you want to be out. If you took the 28 here with a 2-point stop, you are almost about to get paid off. Well, I shouldn't have said anything. So again, you find your exit strategy, and then if you are looking for 2 points, then that's where your stop is. So you get in here at 28, it got down there to 6, almost 6.25, trying to give you your 2 points. But you're scalping this really quick here against the exit strategy there at the 30. And again, if you were looking for 2 points, that's what you're, again, give you your exit strategy. So if you, that's how you're trying to balance your entry point there. And we did get a quick dip down to 26 there. Again, it's a little price action. Now you got your 2 points there if you were looking for your 2 points. So hopefully, if you were doing that, again, you got to kind of listen to what I'm saying and kind of, work around that. And you find your exit strategy and then decide how much risk you want to take. So if it was 2 points, you put it in at 28 and get a nice rotation there down to 26. That was nice and quick. Again, now if we get above 30, it's almost like a buy opportunity here. We've got a little momentum trade, especially now with the bonds making new lows. I don't know, something's turned in the market. I don't know what it is, but something obviously happened over the last 15 minutes that created this little pushback up here. This is like yesterday's trade. Gets a little bit, but at least yesterday's trade was more one way, and this happens more in the afternoon than it does. Like right now, you get a little opportunity here because of the ebbs and flows than you would more in the late afternoon. The late afternoon, you get this like one way, flush instead of giving us a couple bounces. A little bit of a buy there above the 25 for you if you were watching, given what the market conditions are and how this is trading. So there's a little bit of a buy there above the 25. I think we get above 30 here. I think we make a run up. The objective, if we get above 30, could be all the way up to 51, believe it or not. That could be a good target if we do get above that and close above that. But we'll see. We still got to deal with the 42. That hasn't been triggered for us yet. I would not touch the 33 anymore because of, well, it's not happening. And maybe the 42 even a little bit higher than that, maybe 43, but 51 would be a target here if we get above 30. All right, so it's a nice little double top here. Definitely a little bit of a buy there above 30. If we get a little buying opportunity, a little momentum trade, if we do get above that, and we'll look. You got to take some profits if you get along there, but we'll look for the eventual target if we get above 30 would be the 51. And again, this is all of this stuff is for real, especially the bonds are kind of maybe hinting that it is because they're getting a little bit of inverse trade here. But we'll see what happens. Again, we were so quiet for the first half an hour, but then we got a little bit busy. Now we're getting some more busy, so this is good. The market's setting up something for us. We don't know if it's going to happen or not, but we had a little scalp there around it. Again, like I said, about 30, you want to be out of any shorts, so you could scalp it and take as much risk as you wanted. If you wanted 2 points, you get into 28. If you wanted more, you get paid off even if you wanted 3 or 4 points here. So nice little trade here. If you did use that with a 30 stop, but I think if we get about 30, there's a little momentum in this market. That'll push us a little bit higher. Downside, if we get below, looks like we get below 16, you definitely probably don't want to be long on the downside there. So price action wise, a little support would be back around the 18 area. Makes sense. Still there. But anything below 16, yeah, let's say 15. You don't want to be long anymore. Be a shame if we get up here and just kind of die out instead of getting this. Oh, now they don't like it anymore. Now they're saying it's not good. Now they don't like it. Blue banders got paid off very nicely there. Again, if you try to stay short against the 30, you get paid off there also. You obviously have to trade multiple contracts to keep the position on and take some profits off, right? All right, at least we're getting some movement here. Not the worst. At least we are trying to keep you on the right side of the market as the bonds also trying to push to new lows here. Maybe keeping the S&Ps a little bit strong. All right, so hopefully you're flat if you did get short against that 30, and a nice little dip here if you're trying to stay short. I would say anything above 28 now. Well, I'd still say the 30. See what happens. I mean, again, hopefully you took some profits on this little push down there to 22. And again, if you're whatever position you take, you need to find your exit strategy, and then make sure you keep your stops in because these days these markets are very, very skittish based on the fact that it is nervous about. Not nervous. It just doesn't like uncertainty, and that's what you're getting with lack of or just talk about going back and forth about the about the stimulus or not. So this is what's creating this volatility. And again, there's nothing wrong with volatility. All right, there, Robert. Glad you took it. All right, getting a little bit choppy here now. But it's trying to stay strong as the bonds. Like I said, the bonds are kind of keeping you trying to find a little bit of a long here, I think, until they stop doing what they're doing. But S&Ps have also stopped rallying. And they're finding a lot of resistance against our blue band. Blue banders are doing okay again. But obviously, that little resistance there against our blue band, which will stop the market. But again, if we get above 30, especially with these bonds down ticking, I think we could push a little bit lower, higher, I should say. All right, there's a little push here above 30. Okay, this is what we thought might be happening. Quick little scalp there if you did buy there at 30, and take some off here. Obviously, take some profits, and then see if we can't get this thing to go a little bit higher. Okay, again, we had a little momentum trade there. We don't just always, fade the market. We also find the opportunities there where we can find those momentum trades when the market sets itself up. And that's what it did right there. So hopefully you were able to take advantage of that little trade. Oh, why would you do that? Bonds are breaking. S&Ps, you got to buy there. 30. definitely some weird stuff going on now, but I'm just saying. I mean, you should have just bought the 30s, and it's giving you a chance to buy the 30s. There you go. You're doing okay with it. You're right. But we can both be right. Oh, that's not good. I thought we could both be right there for a minute. Yeah, so we had a little quick scalp there if we bought them about the 30. As long as we hold here above the 24, it looks like we might try to uptick here a little bit. Who knows? But there was a little bit of a buying opportunity there above 30, maybe a little bit. Maybe another one here. It's giving me another chance, but that was a little quick scalp there up to get up to 33, 34 even. Maybe you take advantage of that little buying opportunity. Again, we like to have the market set the scenario up for us. There's definitely a price action opportunity there. Those momentum trades are set up by the market. And again, the goal here is for you to recognize, show you those trades, make sure show you what the setup says, and then have you recognize it on your own, and then eventually, do this stuff on your own. And then the execution of the trade is one aspect of it, and well, the recognition is the first part, and then the execution and where you put your orders in there is the second part. No, I did not. I didn't know where I was going to go. Actually, the only thing I said was obviously you have to respect the 33. If anything, that would be about it. That was our first level. And we also had, if we bought it about 30, I also got three quick points out of it. It's all right. So stuff happens. Disciplined enough to keep your stop in there, so move on. You're right. It's not only about me. Yeah, absolutely. starting to sound like my wife, by the way. All right, again, trying to keep you a little long here based on the price action. 28, probably a good level to get in for obvious reasons.